Man, you mentioned growing up in Memphis. You were born in Mississippi, is that right, or was it vice versa?
So vice versa. I was born in Memphis, raised right outside on the Mississippi line, right in a little town called Hernando, Mississippi, just right outside of Memphis.
Yeah, so I mean, you were really inundated with Memphis. I mean, when did you get out of Memphis? It was teens, right?
Yeah, I think I was like in my early 20s, I guess, and I got a job offer on cruise ships, and
Mhm.
I was gonna do one 6 month contract. I ended up staying there for 6 years. So yeah, in my early 20s, I guess I left home.
Yeah, man, there's so much cool about you. I can't wait to chat about the cruise ship stuff too. But like, I feel like when you look at an artist's vibes, you can almost always kind of draw a linear path back to their childhood and almost even a geographic influence to the vibe. And so, like, even listening to your songs now, there's a lot of Memphis, there's a lot of bluesy aspects to your sound that has to be kind of growing up in that area, right? And leaning on those roots.
Definitely, absolutely. We just wrote a song this past week, and it's called Mississippi, and it's all about the roots. And I this is probably my favorite song to date that we've written, and we haven't released it yet, but yeah, I'm excited to just I'm writing more personable now, and I feel like a lot of that's coming from obviously growing up in Memphis and in Mississippi, and I'm pulling a lot of like inspiration from my family and my hometown friends, and definitely writing a lot more personable now.
Yeah. And that again, that freedom really helps with that, right? Because then you don't have to listen to somebody else kind of tell you who to be, right? And you can just be who you
Absolutely.
need to be and who you truly are. I think that really resonates with fans nowadays too, right? Like they know you're being genuine.
Yeah, and I think it's also just easier to connect. I mean, especially great with like social media now and how you
Mhm.
can connect with people. It's like the most beautiful thing, and people just want to see how you live your life, which is to me, I thought when marketing's telling you to like post everything you can, like post everything about your life, and it's like to me it's almost a little cringe, but then also it's like people like entertainment.
Mhm.
They just crave entertainment. So it's like just putting that stuff out there and just being who you are, staying true to who you are, and just showing people that, I think people will resonate in any way and connect with you.
Yeah, I love how you put the word cringe in there because you can it's definitely part of that, right? I'm a full-time content creator, so like I put out so much content that just starts with the beard and the face and all of that. And I know people are probably like, "Oh man, not this dude again." But like, you have to be on the forefront of people's mindsets in order to kind of be that earworm. And I'll tell you what, once you don't post, people notice, and um, that's a good thing. Being consistent is a good thing in that. But you talked about connectability too. There's so many different ways to connect nowadays, right? From like so you mentioned social media, but there's also touring. There's the music video. You know, if you don't connect with the music video, people aren't going to listen to the song. Is there a lot of pressure on you as an artist to connect?
Honestly, no. I've always really been kind of a people person. I love, that's my favorite part about touring is going out and meeting people and hanging out with people after the shows, and I don't know, taking shots with them, and just like, just learning about their family and where they grew up and their life. And like, I don't know, it gives you a chance, I mean, to connect. And I love that part about it. It's my favorite part about the job.
Yeah, and that has to be something you pulled from the cruise ship experience, right? Just 5 nights a
My
week.
band says that. Yeah.
I mean, it makes
Yes, my
sense,
band
right?
says it does, it totally does, and my guitar player says it all the time. He's like, "I feel like you totally got that from cruise ships because it's something they kinda teach you. They encourage you to go out and, like, talk to people and, make those friends, and then you'll have people come back, and, I mean, I still have we're doing our first UK tour this year, and I made so many friends in the UK back on ships, and, like, to go over there now, I'm so excited to, like, see them. I haven't seen them in ages. I mean, the people you connect with is wild.
Yeah, and I imagine again as an artist, especially as a young artist in your mid-teens to late teens, I imagine the dream isn't cruise ship at that point. Obviously, right? I mean, that's not something you're going to dream up. I don't imagine, but I imagine it's get to Nashville, be a songwriter, get a record deal, all of those things. It just so happens that the cruise ship thing came for you first. But before the cruise ship came along, were you writing songs and stuff like that?
I was, my granddad. I got into music because of my granddad. He played guitar, and he and I would sit out on the front porch, and he'd teach me how to play, and he gave me my first guitar. So I really got into music because of him. And he loved old country music, Johnny Cash, Loretta Lynn, and so he taught me a lot about old country music. And I feel like going from there, I started a band down on Beale Street, and started playing in band. I've been playing in bars since I was, gosh, 16.
Yeah, yeah, that's incredible, and that's the way to start. And when you have Beale Street at your fingertips, that's a huge plus, I imagine. Was it tough getting accepted into that crowd as a youngster?
Not necessarily. I feel like, I mean, even as a kid, I feel like everybody was super supportive. I mean, I think people just were really rooting for me, and it's like it's cool to just see that. I mean, obviously, you don't start off as like the most amazing singer in the world. I feel like
Right.
I feel like I listen back on recordings now when I was 16, and I'm like, oh God, that was terrible. Why
Yeah.
did people come to my show?
But I feel like you have to have, I've been on Beale Street. I've seen some shows along there. I'm not an expert by no means. Please don't tell me I am. But I imagine you got to have some kind of soul to resonate with
Yes,
an audience on Beale. So if
absolutely.
you're playing those rooms at 16 years old, that soul had to already be there, right?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it too is people just want to see you loving what you do. If they see that passion, they're going to connect with it.
Yeah, man, that's great stuff, man. Because like the last thing you think of when you think of Beale Street is a white girl. I mean, let's be honest, right? So that's badass that you were kind of accepted into that, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, you go back to the '50s, and the last thing you think about is some white kid from Tupelo is gonna change the world in Mississippi. So, or in Memphis rather. So, I mean, Memphis has been known to be very accepting when it comes to culture and arts. But that's cool that you had that kind of experience then.